welcome to Real Truth for Today with Pastor Jeff Schreve, Senior Pastor of First Baptist Church in Texarkana, Texas. Now, here's Pastor Jeff.
Well, good morning and welcome to Real Truth for Today. Pastor Jeff Schreve here. Wanted to read to you from Romans chapter 8. The Bible says this, beginning in verse 5. For those who are according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who are according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For the mind set on the flesh is death, but the mind set on the Spirit is life and peace. Because the mind set on the flesh is hostile toward God, for it does not subject itself to the law of God, for it is not even able to do so. And those who are in the flesh cannot please God. However, you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if indeed the Spirit of God dwells in you. But if anyone does not have the Spirit of Christ, he does not belong to him. Well, it was a week or so ago that I was at a retirement reception for an officer in our church, Chris King, and I talked to different ones there after the ceremony was over, and one of the guys I talked to was my friend Andy Anthony. I've known Andy for a long time. He served as a sergeant in TAPD, Texarkana, Arkansas Police Department, and then he retired, but they hired him back, and now he's serving as operations coordinator for Texarkana, Arkansas Police Department. And Andy said something that kind of surprised me. He said, "Hey, I just want you to know I got saved just recently." And I said, "Well, tell me about that." And he told me his story just in a nutshell. But I thought to myself, this would make for a great sit down, because Andy is like so many others, kind of a cultural Christian, grew up in a Christian home, but it wasn't real in his heart until about the last, year?
Couple years, year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah. So I wanted him to share his story. And so, Andy, welcome to Real Truth for Today.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Well, okay, so I've known your mom and dad. Your dad's in heaven now, but your sweet mom has been a great supporter of From His Heart Ministries for so many years, went with us on a trip to Israel, and so I knew her before I knew you. And so you grew up in a Christian home, only child, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, only child, and learned about Jesus, went to church, your parents took you to church. So tell us about those growing up years.
From Texarkana, we really didn't go to church a whole lot. As I got a little bit older and we moved out of one neighborhood into another, then we kind of started getting back into going to church. Mm-hmm. My mother's father was a Baptist preacher, but I think there was some hard times having that, and I think that kind of might have pushed her away a little bit.
Okay.
But we ended up, she found her way back, we all found our way back.
Yeah.
And that's been that way for quite some time.
Yeah. Okay, so did you make a decision for Jesus when you were a kid?
I did. My senior year, I was going to church with a family, a very good Christian family. I saw how a Christian family treats each other, mm-hmm. and I really, at that time, I was like, "This is something I want," and I believed in God, and I went through the motions, is what I try to say.
Right.
And I was baptized, and I went down front, and I lived my life through that late, like 17, 18, into my 20s. But after I got a little bit older, than 21, then it's like I kind of left that stuff behind. Mm-hmm. And I kept thinking, well, I'm okay.
You're right.
I'm a good guy, and really I wasn't.
Yeah. Okay, so looking at you, you're very athletic, obviously lift a lot of weights. That's good in the profession of law enforcement, to be mm-hmm. strong rather than weak. But I'm assuming you were a jock in high school?
Yes, played football, baseball, all the sports.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I know for me, now I'm older than you are, Andy, and but the jocks all kind of drank and caroused, and
yes, that
was what happened on weekends.
Yes.
So you played hard, but you liked to party too.
Yes, did all those things that you shouldn't do.
Yeah. But you're thinking, I can live this kind of life because I've been baptized and I'm good.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah. Okay, so fast forward a little bit. When did you meet your wife?
We met in 2006. and
You're how old?
excuse me, not 2006. It was 2005. 2005.
2005. You're how old again?
I'm 51 now.
No, in 2000.
Then I was 28, 9.
Okay. Where did y'all meet?
We met at a club. We met at a bar.
Yeah.
And
you'd never been married. She'd never been married.
neither one of us. She had just graduated nursing school, and she didn't even live here. She lived in the DFW area.
Okay.
And I was
You met her here in Texarkana?
she had came in for some friend of theirs' birthday party, something like that, and that's how we met.
Was it love at first sight for you?
For me, it was, because I saw her and I was like, "Who is that? I don't recognize her."
Yeah.
So yeah, I just that's how it started. I mean, I walked up to her and asked her, if I could dance with her.
Yeah.
And, it kind of went from there.
And she was interested right off the bat?
No, she was not. I think she was kind of apprehensive. Just, I don't want to be involved with someone from Texarkana.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I felt. But
Yeah.
through
So long distance relationship.
well, a few conversations over the phone, I asked her if she wanted to eat ice cream, and then I think that's where I kind of set the hook on her.
okay.
And
So you were making the trip to Dallas to see her?
she was one of those that worked so many days during the week and was kind of off a lot more than I was. At that particular time, I worked for the Highway Patrol, and I was working split shifts, and I was only off like Tuesday, Wednesday during the week.
Right.
So she would come down from DFW and stay with me whenever
Yeah.
she could. And
Yeah.
I'd say, every other week or something. But yeah, it was kind of a long distance relationship.
Okay, so neither one of you are pursuing the Lord at this time, right?
My wife, I believe, she was a Christian. She was young. I'm 6 years, almost 7 years older than she is.
Okay.
And I was just living. And some things came up with us that was outside being married. We had Fallon, our daughter, Jennifer got pregnant, and we had a beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
It led to a lot of stress
Yeah.
because we weren't married.
Right.
She moved in my house with me. She moved down from Dallas down here. That was very stressful for her.
Yeah.
She gave up a really good job in DFW as a new nurse there in a really big hospital to come to Texarkana, where she didn't want to be.
Right.
9 months pregnant, had a baby, moved in,
Yeah.
and then we're building a family, but we still weren't married.
Yeah.
And looking back, there was a lot of stress
Yeah.
because you're not living the way you need to be.
So are her parents Christians?
Yes.
Okay, so they probably didn't like that.
I would assume that they probably didn't. I've never asked them. Her parents are very loving, very helpful, very there.
Okay.
They've been there the whole time as my parents were. They never said anything cross to me about it.
Okay.
But I would assume, being a father of a daughter, I would be disappointed as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I can understand that.
Okay, so Fallon comes into your life. When did you get married?
We didn't get married for 3 years later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Fallon's 3 when you get married.
She had just turned 3, and then we got married.
What was the impetus for you to get married?
Funny you asked that. My wife was like, are we ever going to get married? And I don't know where I was at in my own mind. I never thought I would ever be someone that got married. I never thought I'd be someone that actually had kids.
Yeah.
And it just happened. And she had been going to nursing school and got out, and then she had done critical care, and she was wanting to go back to school to do anesthesia.
Yeah.
And she got accepted. And she said, either we're getting married or I'm moving back to Dallas with Fallon. Either way, I'm got to go to Dallas. But
Yeah.
we're not going to be married, and I'm not going through all this. So I asked her to marry me. She said yes. And then we were
Did
married.
you feel pressured to do that, or did you want to do it?
I think that I needed to be, I wouldn't say I needed to be pressured. I needed to be kicked off the stump.
Okay.
Make a decision. Be a
Right.
man.
Right.
Make a decision.
Right.
And I wasn't being a man.
Yeah.
I wasn't being a Christian.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of the problem.
Yeah.
I was trying to live in Andy's life.
Yeah.
And not worrying about so many other people, but I worried about myself too much.
Right. Okay, Andy, I know you and I talked about this before, but alcohol played a big part in your life for a long time.
Yes.
And that started in high school when you started drinking?
Yes, I did drink some in high school. It wasn't like an every weekend thing, but
Mostly
it did
just
happen.
beer?
Just whatever, alcohol, if it might be vodka or whatever. It was anything that, somebody had it, then we drank it. I never did any drugs or anything like that, but alcohol is a drug. Don't let people fool you. It is.
Right. I would say, with not to get too off topic, but with you in law enforcement for so many years, you've probably seen more damage from alcohol than anything else.
Oh, absolutely.
Wrecking homes and marriages.
Well, it's just, it starts at the younger ages and continues to, people are very, very old, and it's readily available anywhere you go.
Right.
Yeah. Just, you can pick it up anywhere.
So when you and Jennifer got together, did you feel like you had a drinking issue?
I don't think I did right then. But as we were together, and even after we got married, then it seemed like it got worse.
Yeah.
It got worse. And it wasn't just drinking a few beers here and there. At one point, I was probably drinking a half gallon or two a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
And able to function.
As best as I thought I was functioning, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so as a law enforcement officer, you're not going to work inebriated.
No.
But you, after work, you're going to be hitting it hard?
Yes. Every afternoon after work, I would drink 4 or 5 cups.
Is that right?
Of alcohol. Sometimes just straight alcohol.
Okay, and you build up a tolerance for that, but at first you're not, so you're getting sloppy drunk at that point?
I was getting sloppy drunk, and then it got to a point where my wife actually said something to me one day. She goes, I can smell that from over here. And she goes, what's sad is that you've had 2 or 3 of those cups, Andy, and you don't even act like you've had one.
Oh, wow.
And that was a big eye-opener to me.
How long ago was that?
That was, that's been years and years ago.
Okay.
But I just continued on, doing whatever I thought I wanted to do. And
well, okay, so I guess you lie to yourself thinking I can handle this because I'm able to go through, I'm still able to work, and so I can, but what do you think was causing you to drink? Just for the feeling of getting that buzz?
I've never really thought of it, just super serious, but it seems like it was just a combination of many things. One, being sinful in my marriage, doing whatever I wanted to do. If you take sin in itself and you start thinking about the things that you've done, I think I was trying to mask and dull
for shame
and everything else that I knew what I was doing.
Right. And so Jennifer has really put up with a lot.
Yes.
Because she's not a drinker and
not really.
Yeah. And then Fallon knew this was going
later on. I think she knew.
She never said anything to you about it?
No.
Okay. But none of the guys on the force knew that you were doing this, or did they know?
I think they knew that I was drinking, but I don't think they had a clue of how much and how often.
So were you doing that mostly by yourself, or were you doing it?
A lot of it was by myself.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a story in itself, and as we're going to get into this after the break, God took that away, and it miraculously, because that doesn't normally happen, and normally it's a constant battle, but for your life and the way the Lord chose to work in your life, that did get taken away. And so we're talking to Andy Anthony. He is retired as a sergeant in the Texarkana, Arkansas Police Department, and he was in law enforcement, has been in law enforcement for 27 years. You were retired for a month?
3 weeks.
3 weeks, and they called you back.
Yeah.
And now you're operations coordinator for that same department, Texarkana, Arkansas Police Department. We have a lot of different police entities and law enforcement entities here in the Texarkana area, but Andy's on the Arkansas side, and has been a good friend for many, many years. What a great testimony. And so you're listening to Real Truth for Today. Pastor Jeff Schreve here, and you don't want to miss more of Andy Anthony as he shares how the Lord totally changed his life just about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. We'll be right back.
Presenting AFA Stream, an online platform that hosts all AFA-produced video content, including documentaries, church curriculum, American Family Radio shows, and our Cultural Institute series.
I would submit that we are a Christian nation, and the proof of that is in our founding documents and in the U.S. Constitution itself, because our founders recognized for the first time in world history that our rights come from God, our Creator, not our government.
AFA Stream is a vital step that we are taking to fulfill our vision to be a leading organization in biblical worldview training for cultural transformation. You'll find top-notch resources that address the issues of our day related to marriage, family, the sanctity of life, and many others. Start streaming today. stream.afa.net.
This is Real Truth for Today. Podcasts of the program are available on the podcast page at afr.net. Now, back to Pastor Jeff Schreve.
Welcome back to the program. Pastor Jeff here, talking to my friend Andy Anthony, and we're talking about how God has changed his life just in the last year and a half to 2 years, going from just being a cultural Christian, thinking he's okay, involved in church, coming to church, but living a life of sin on the side and it not being real. So, Andy, here you are you're married now. Mm-hmm. You and Jennifer are married. Fallon is a beautiful little girl growing up in your home. You have a good job. You're doing things good for the community. You're arresting the bad guys, fighting crime and corruption. As a friend of mine used to like to say that worked for the Harris County Sheriff's Department. And there has to be a sense of, I'm making a difference. I'm doing something good with my life. And, for somebody that's a cultural Christian, you would think, well, that's got to count for something. God is pleased with my work, that kind of deal. Did that play into your mind some, like, well, maybe I'm okay. Maybe this is balancing the scales?
I guess that kind of, it makes sense when you say it like that. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, it was just, I was going through the motions. I was coming to church. Mm-hmm. I believed in God. I knew he was real.
Right.
But in the same sense, I would come into church and I believed everything that I was listening to. Right. But then I would immediately leave and go right back into the world mm-hmm. of what I wanted to do and the things that I felt like were, more important, and they weren't.
Right. Okay, so what was the turning point? How did that play out in your life?
Well, many factors led up to many years of just the drinking and the arguments and the disgruntledness at home. And
was Jennifer reaching her breaking point?
I believe she was.
Yeah.
And you could see it on her face a lot.
Yeah. But now you didn't want to say, well, I don't want to be married to you anymore, right?
No, I never had that idea that I didn't want to. And I say that when you're drinking like that and you get frustrated and you're living in your own life, you just think of everything else that you could do just to be away from all of it.
Yeah. Okay, so with people that drink and domestic disputes and things like that, I would think that there would be a lot of arguments. Now, none of it turned physical or anything like that. No
physical.
But a lot of yelling.
There were times there would be yelling. Just total. When you're in a situation like that, it's not just the arguments over the drinking. It's arguments that, I would just check out. I don't care.
Yeah.
She would say something. I'm like, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, when you're married, you need to care.
Right.
You need to care. You need to worry about certain things, and they may be this small snippet of nothingness to me.
Right.
Even at that time, but now, it's like, let's just talk about it and get it behind us. Let's figure the solution out and move forward.
Yeah.
Well, you just check out on everything because all you're worried about is drinking and just being numb to everything. Like I don't care to talk about it.
Yeah.
So then you become distant from each other, and those situations
it
just widens. And could I see us probably having reached being divorced, yes. I mean, I would be stupid not to think that, we both at one point were probably like, I don't care, and she's all like, I can't live like this,
Yes.
or vice versa.
Right.
It was one of those situations where, you just get another drink and forget about it.
Right. Now, are you drinking at home, or are you drinking?
I'm just drinking at home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Not going to the bars or anything like
Not
that?
really, no.
Okay. How much of that was fueled by, hey, I'm a police officer, I can't really be out here getting hammered?
Well, first of all, a great deal, because I knew how much I was going to drink, and if I was making a drink, I knew if I drank that drink, I'd be over the legal limit. I knew it. So when I'm drinking 3 or 4 huge cups,
You're not driving.
I'm not driving. No.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I'm
so,
just sitting on the couch.
Yeah. So you were smart enough to know I'm not going to put myself in a position where I could lose my job and that kind of thing. Okay. So did Jennifer issue you an ultimatum?
I want to say there was a situation one time. She was just like, "This is getting old," and I really don't remember exactly what we talked about at that time, but it was like, it had to deal with the situation where I was drinking earlier about, hey, I can smell that from over here.
Yeah.
And I would say yes, that is kind of ultimatum. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
You need to start thinking about not only your health, but there were some other factors coming in. My dad had started getting sick.
Right.
He had dementia, and I saw what he had done most of his life, which was a lot of drinking.
Yeah.
I know he was a Christian, and I believe that, but he supplemented, I think, because he had been in the military and he'd saw a lot of things.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and I knew your mom a lot better than I knew your dad.
Yeah.
So I got to know George pretty much toward the end.
Mm-hmm.
But super guy. He was coming to church with
Yeah.
your mom. And
Yeah.
Okay, so here you are. I have a drinking problem. You probably didn't want to admit that you had a drinking problem, right?
No, you don't want to admit it.
But you knew it deep
You
down.
knew you have one.
Yeah.
When you're going through half a gallon of whiskey in a couple of days,
Yeah.
you know there's a problem.
Yeah. So you're always drinking to get drunk?
I don't know that I would just drinking to get drunk. I just drank to be drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because it was not that I felt like I was intoxicated. I know I was. Legally I was intoxicated, but I felt like it was like the camouflage. It was just hiding me.
Mm-hmm.
It was hiding what I knew was going on in my mind with everything else I'd been doing.
Yeah. Okay. And Jennifer knew about all the stuff that was going on?
No, not at that time. No,
Mm-hmm.
it was many years later. It, like we had spoken before, when you do something, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
And it came out, and I didn't have a choice but just lay it all on the line. I was just like, this is a done deal. In my mind, it was a done deal.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to be honest, just, say everything I've been doing. And I did.
Yeah.
And that was the same time that my dad had been getting really sick, and he was on hospice. And
Was she surprised, or did she sense that?
I think she was surprised, but I think in the back of her mind, she sensed it.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I never really asked her.
This is just running around, that
Yes.
kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, she never did that?
No.
Okay. Well, okay, so she was willing to say, okay, I'll stay with you even though these things have been happening?
There was a long period of time that, that went by that we, I moved out of the house.
Uh-huh.
I was gone for several months. And then she asked me to come back, but she wanted to talk and wanted us to go to counseling. And I started going to counseling, not for the drinking, but just in general, just for everything.
Right.
But I spoke about that in counseling. A little bit of the bricks starting to come off.
Right.
I can feel them, like, okay, this is out.
Right.
I can breathe now a
Like
little.
lancing a boil or
Yes,
something like that.
you can start to breathe a little
Yeah.
bit. And I'm like, what else do I need to do? And about that same time, I really had paid attention to a lot of coworkers at work. I mean, I had friends, but I didn't pay a lot of attention to their faith. And I knew some of them had a lot stronger faith than some. And then I said, why are these certain guys that are married, they don't have any of these issues, and they seem to be the happiest out of everyone up here.
Right.
They don't, there's every day has a different day when you work at a police department.
Sure.
But these guys had a different kind of happiness. And when I really looked, it didn't take much to look, but when you looked, you could see every one of them had Jesus. Every one of them.
Yeah.
Whether it was Chris King, there's several more.
Yeah.
Kyle Cottle, Tanner Freeman. There's been several of these guys that I started paying more attention to. And some of them, they mimicked some of the same things I did, one or two, and they had left all that behind, and it just seemed like, man, their life is just kind of straightened out. And it looks so much nicer.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I want a piece of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
okay, so you realize they have something I don't have.
yes.
Okay. So I know we talked about the book by Kyle Idleman. Are you a fan or follower or whatever it's called? Tell me about getting introduced to that book.
I was actually introduced to that book after the fact of making a decision to really follow Christ.
Yeah.
I was at home, and I'll back up just a little bit. I was at home one afternoon, and I'd already moved back in the house, and I was hiding drinking. I was hiding it.
Okay.
Not a lot. I wasn't back to drinking like I was, but I was still drinking some. And I know I'm gonna get emotional about this.
That's all right.
But I'd gone outside and made a drink, and I came back in the house, and I started drinking it, and I'm talking to myself, and I'm like, "What are you doing, man? You're back here. You need to make a decision. Are you going to be a husband and a dad, or are you going to be a drunk?
Yeah.
Which one are you going to want to be?" And I started crying, and I set the drink down, and I can show you the exact place in my living room. And I got as close to the floor as I could. And I begged God. I said, "I got to have you. I can't do it without you anymore." And he showed up.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
He showed up big time.
Yeah.
Not to say that there wasn't some challenges.
Sure.
But right then, I say right then, within the next day or so, there was that, and I tell people this too, whenever they're going through issues, and when I knew right then that God accepted my apologies, and I asked him, I said, "I know I've said some of these things before, but I didn't really mean them. I mean them with all my heart now. I need you." But I guess my mind's just going crazy. I'm trying to think all these things.
Yeah.
But over the next few days, it was almost like, because at that time, right before then, the devil, this devil had his hand around my throat. And he was just dragging me around wherever he wanted. And you could feel it. But I was outside in my shop, and someone was like, you could almost hear him as clearly as I can hear the Lord now speak to me sometimes. And he was there going, just get one drink. It won't hurt. No one's here.
Yeah.
One. And this is maybe a week or 2 weeks after that in the living room situation.
Yeah.
So I had something in my shop that I had hid. So I had got a drink out, and I took a swallow, and I was like, "Man, that's the best drink I've had forever." And I hadn't had a drink in a week or two. And I sat it down. I started crying again. I said, "Please don't let me drink this, God."
Yeah.
And I took one more sip of it, and I couldn't swallow it. And I knew right then
He had taken that away.
he had taken it away.
Yeah.
And I poured it out, and I hadn't been back.
Yeah. And that was how long ago, Andy?
That's been about 1.5 years, 2 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
And every day now, my life's been so much more clear,
Yeah.
happier. I can't believe how unbelievably happy I am in life now.
Yeah.
And that's not just the Lord working on me. He's worked on my wife, softened her heart. He's worked on my mom. He's worked on everyone that's around me, and he's got people around me now that I can go and speak with that have like ideas instead of
Right.
the other.
Yeah.
So,
But with your life, it's not like you were, I'm stepping out on my wife, I'm with my buddies, we're going to go drink and chase girls, and because you were mostly by yourself doing that, right? You didn't really want to involve other people in that?
no, I felt like I would just try to hide everything I could.
Yeah.
The thing about being in police work is that you're chasing a high all the time.
Right. Adrenaline rush.
You're having an adrenaline rush. So you can be a normal day of just patrolling, and then your insulin and all this other stuff spikes, adrenaline spikes, because you're going to a call of shots fired or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So when you're off, you want to chase that high.
Okay.
And you'll substitute it for whatever you can find.
Do you think police officers, because of that, they're maybe more susceptible to alcohol? Maybe drugs even?
I would say whatever their device is that gets them that way.
Yeah.
And after looking into it, there's many. There's all kind of things, whether it's sexual immorality or the alcohol or pornography or whatever the case may be. Someone's going to find a way to meet that high. Not all of them. I'm not saying that every police officer does that.
Right.
I'm speaking from my Excel.
Yeah. Just curious too, we got about a minute before the break, but how many, because you've been in it a long time, and before the days of video cameras, body cameras, and things like that, how many cops like to be? I like being a cop because I'm gonna kind of overpower you and be kind of rough with you.
I've never witnessed anyone
doing that
I've worked with do anything like that. Not to say that you haven't seen those videos online or something in some big city somewhere,
right?
But
because a power trip could fit into being a police officer. I mean,
absolutely
that would be a draw to the.
Yeah, but for the most part, I'd say most of the people I've worked with, because when you get into law enforcement, it's not a job; it is actually a calling.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to make it.
Right.
You'll self-implode on yourself.
We're listening to Real Truth for Today. Pastor Jeff Schreve here talking to Andy Anthony about his testimony and how he came to know Christ in a real way, and it totally changed his life. We'll be right back.
If we lose this cultural war, we're going to have a hedonistic, humanistic society.
Discover the story of the culture warrior Don Wildman and how he went head-to-head with Hollywood, Playboy, the homosexual agenda, and the Disney empire. The movement Don started continues today as AFA fights the attack against truth and righteousness. Watch Culture Warrior and join the fight. Visit culturewarrior.movie.
If you'd like to contact Pastor Jeff, email pastorjeff@fromhisheart.org. Now, back to Real Truth for Today with Pastor Jeff Schreve.
Welcome back to Real Truth for Today. Pastor Jeff Schreve here talking to Andy Anthony. We're talking about how he came to know Christ in a real way. And Andy, one of the things that really spoke to my heart when we talked at Chris King's retirement party was the fact that your story speaks to so many people. Because we have a lot of people in church, they're church members, they've been baptized, they maybe prayed a prayer or whatever, but they never really gave their life to Jesus. And that's what it means to be a Christian. You give your life to Jesus, he gives his life to you. And so as it says in Romans 8, those who are in the flesh cannot please God. And he says, however, you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if indeed the Spirit of God dwells in you. But if anyone does not have the Spirit of Christ, he does not belong to him. And you were living your life with the Spirit of Christ not being there. And Andy was on the throne. Andy did whatever Andy wanted to do and kind of played the game and lied to himself that he was okay. So since you received Christ, how have things changed?
Man, it's just been it's just like night and day.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Situations that I would really worry about, they're really not anything to worry about at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, I'm living for Him now.
Yeah.
And the situations that I had to worry about hiding, I don't have to hide anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing has to be hidden when you have Christ.
Yeah.
And that is such, that to me, that alone has brought me so much happiness, because I can be me, but I can He works through me for me to be what He wants me to be.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And
well, you had told me about the book that we had mentioned,
yes.
The Fan or Follower, and that you realized, hey, I'm just a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a real follower. And
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So how did that kind of unfold for you?
And again, I'd been, when I asked Lord to come into my life, and I meant it in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then through the weeks that went through that,
Mm-hmm.
there's just I could feel the change inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our captains at work I'd spoke with, Zach White, he brought the book and gave me I'm Not a Fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I find this, and I tell people this all the time, I've not to be funny, but I've never read a book cover to cover. not one time. But I read that book cover to cover.
Yeah.
And I read it, for me, I thought pretty fast. It might have taken me a week or so. It's not a very big book,
right.
but I will say
it's
this,
a good book.
It is a great book. And it has some testimonies at the end of the chapters that really hit home.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it just filled my heart reading that book. And I'm like, and as I read it, I looked at it and I'm like, that was me.
Mm-hmm.
To a T. I was a fan. I believed in God. I knew He was real.
Right.
But what am I doing to follow Him?
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I was coming to church, and I was tithing and I, sitting in the pew and singing the songs,
mm-hmm.
and then leaving and doing whatever.
Yeah.
Put me right back in the world. And I didn't want to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And every day since then has been a blessing. 100%.
How has Jennifer responded to this?
Oh, she has been elated.
Yes.
And I think she's happy for me.
Yeah. Yeah. How about Fallon, your daughter?
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Same. Because I sat them both down. This has been months and months ago. And I just told them, I said, I know I haven't been the husband or the dad I needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to do everything I can to make up for it.
Mm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just I kicked myself in the butt that I didn't do it so much. I didn't do it a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that to someone else, and they said, God did it, let it happen right when He needed you, knew He needed you.
Yeah.
And I hang a lot on that, because I wish I'd have done it so much sooner, instead of being,
right.
49, 50 years old. I would have been, 18
right.
when I first did it, and stayed that course my whole life, but I didn't.
Right.
But absolutely, both of them know now
Yeah.
where I stand. And
Well, okay. I would think, Andy, so with that background, you can see people that were just like you,
yes,
that are kind of going through the motions, playing the game, because it's like, that's me. I'm looking in a mirror, that I did exactly what you're doing now. So one of the wonderful things about the Lord saving you later, through all the things that you've been through, is that you're quite a testimony to those others. And, I think about the people listening today or watching online. There are a lot of people in church, as we said, that go through the motions and think they're okay. What would you say to that person?
you need to search yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I can't define it very well. What I would like to say, being a new Christian still.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know for sure it's there's just a different feeling about it.
Mm-hmm.
You just feel it within. And when you're going through the motions, you know in the back of your mind you're going through the motions.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
And I say that because that's what I was doing.
Right.
And you lie to yourself as you lie to everyone else.
Right.
You're really just, and I'll be the first one. I was a hypocrite to a lot of things.
Yeah.
I
I would imagine you had, especially with your job, being in dangerous situations, the thought of dying would have been pretty frightening for you, or no?
It wasn't.
I mean, did you think I'm going to go to heaven?
I think I lied to myself saying that I was.
Yeah.
But now I look back, and it should have been the scariest part of my entire life.
Yeah.
Because there's been, I'm not saying that I'm some super cop by any means,
Right.
but there's been several situations where it's gotten pretty hairy.
Yeah, you could have gotten shot.
And, you can get hurt.
Yeah.
Or, worse, you could just be hurt so bad that, you can't do anything the rest of your life.
Right.
But now that I know, when I take my last breath here, I'll take my first in heaven.
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact now.
Amen to that. Andy, I heard it said one time, I read this in a book, and it's so true. So, a true Christian is hearing the voice of the Lord. You have the Lord inside. You're not in the flesh, you're in the spirit. That doesn't mean you always walk perfectly, but the Lord, you belong to him. And so it's kind of like a guy that's listening on headphones. We have headphones here. You're listening to music on headphones and you're tapping your foot to the beat. Well, an unbeliever can copy that, but the difference is they're not hearing the music. They're just going through the motions. And if the music changes and the beat changes, well, they're not able to change because they don't, all of a sudden it's, well, wait a minute, you're not doing it the way you were doing it before. It's because they're not hearing anything. And so you, in your life, you went from hearing nothing to now all of a sudden you hear the voice of the shepherd, and it's totally different.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
There's been certain situations, and I'm going to just say this one. It's just like when we had spoke at Chris's retirement thing. It was something like I'm excited to tell people.
Yeah, I could tell that.
And I get emotional every time.
Yeah, that's cool.
But and I don't know if that'll ever go away, because it's not that I get emotional because I'm sad. I get emotional because I'm so happy.
Yes.
But I come to work. Sometimes I get to work early, and I have a Bible that sits on my desk now. And periodically I'll pull it because I'm trying to read the whole Bible now.
Yeah.
So I'll before I do anything, I'll put my hand over it and I pray over the Bible that each letter, every word fills my cup. And I tell people all the time, I said, I don't have any talents. I can't sing. I can't play an instrument.
You can lift weights.
I can lift weights, but I'm not fast. But I feel like the Lord's blessed me with being able to speak to people.
Yes.
Because I've had to do it for so long.
Yes.
And usually it's a situation where most people, it's chaotic.
Right.
You've got to bring people down.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I can't do anything, but I can talk to folks.
Yeah.
So I praying over the Bible, I say, let this help me be able to speak to other people using your word.
Right.
You through me. I said amen, and that's when my phone went off and it was you.
Oh, wow.
I mean, immediately.
Wow.
I say amen. I look down the phone. It's you texting me about doing this today.
Yeah.
Again, I got excited.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I try to tell folks, I'm like, when you are living for the Lord, he's going to put you in some situations.
Right.
Whether they may be uncomfortable or not, I know that's what he was like. You asked for it.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, absolutely, I'd come do this today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was him all along.
Right.
But I can't tell you, there's been these situations like that have came up over the last few years that are the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not. It's him.
Right.
And sometimes, and there's been a couple times I can hear him, and he'll say something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just been a blessing.
Yeah.
I know I told you a little story that whenever we were I was at the gym, and there was a gentleman in there that I don't want to say his name. He may not want me to speak about it, but he was in the gym. He works for the sheriff's office. He was having another child, and he has a child that's had some medical problems. And you could see him just aimlessly walking around the gym. Mm-hmm. And I go up and I said, "Hey, are you okay?" And he's like, "Well, my wife's going to have our second baby today." And I'm like, "What are you doing here?" Right. He's like, "I couldn't sleep. I just, we're scheduled at a certain time. Mm-hmm. He's going to work out." So I'm like, "Man, you're going to be okay." And I walk away, and I could hear the Lord. And he says, "Go pray for him." Mm-hmm. In my mind, I've never done that.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "You want me to go?" I'm asking him. I'm like, "You want me to go pray with him right now?"
Yeah.
He said, "Go pray for him." And I'm thinking, no, I was about to leave. So I grabbed my bag to leave. And he said, go pray. And I'm like, I'll pray for him in my truck by myself.
Yeah.
As I grab my bag, I take about 2 or 3 steps, and I can't walk.
Yeah.
And he said, "Go now."
Yeah.
As clear as I'm talking to you right now. He said, "Go now." And I walked up to him, and I put my arm around and said, "Hey, do you mind if I pray for you?" And I did. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Man, I really appreciate you doing this." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Well, everything's going to work out because you put your faith in the Lord Jesus, mm-hmm. and there are no mistakes. Yeah. Everything will be fine." But that wasn't where it ended. As I'm walking out, another gentleman that's in the gym a lot that I would say most people don't talk to. He's a bigger guy. He stays to himself. I didn't really know him, and he's a big dude. He's just big, tall. Mm-hmm. He's dressed in black a lot. Super nice guy, really. Mm-hmm. After you get to know people. Mm-hmm. But as I'm walking out, and it's dark, I feel somebody tap me on the shoulder, and I didn't hear anybody walking behind me. Mm-hmm. And I turn around, and it's him. And he says, "Hey, the next time you pray, can you pray for me?" Mm.
Yeah.
And I said, "Let's do it right now." Mm. Because I'd already asked the Lord, mm-hmm. if there's somebody that needs me.
Yeah.
I'm doing it through you.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
And I'm just the vehicle for it.
Right.
But whatever you want from now on, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And we prayed, and he said, "Man, no one's ever done that for me."
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I lost it.
Yeah. You had mentioned that to me. He was all tatted up and kind of a prison background, maybe.
Yeah, he'd been in prison.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. We talked to that later on, and I've spoken with him since then about mm-hmm. the Lord. And everyone has their own problems and their own issues.
Right.
And I said, all that's in the past, man. If you'll look to Jesus, and I promise you'll fix whatever's wrong.
Yeah.
You just have to put it in faith in Him.
Right.
Don't hide it.
Right.
You got to show it.
Yeah.
And it's been the little situations like that have came up.
Yeah.
And I know it wasn't me. Mm-hmm. None of this is me.
Right.
It's Him. And I will continue to pray and ask for Him to use me in any way He can.
Yeah. Give you opportunities.
Give me the opportunity. Absolutely.
Well, it has been rightly said, the best ability is availability. When we're available to the Lord, He can use us in situations like at the gym. Hey, pray for this guy. Yeah. And then we need to obey. And God wasn't going to let you get away without doing that. He's going to,
I know.
Hey, Andy, you said you wanted me to use you. And so that is so cool. Well, Andy, thank you so much for being my guest today. And it is just exciting to see firsthand, because like I said, I've known you for a long time, and just to see the work that God has obviously done in your heart. And we just want to capitalize on that to share your story far and wide. So I encourage you, if you know somebody that you sense is a cultural Christian, share this program with them, because it could really help them put their faith and trust in Jesus and really turn their life to Him as Andy did. So thanks for listening today. Go out, shine for Christ, share what great things the Lord has done for you, and God will use you as His witness. God bless you.